Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this lecture of Oracle Database Administration. So today's concept is about startup and shutdown modes. Startup and shutdown mode. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll start the table space management. So after this class, the table space management, which will take at least 4 to 5 sessions to complete the table space management. At the end of the table space management, you people feel like, just only one point, right? What is there in table space management? Just only one point. To learn that one point, we have to spend 4 days. Yes, because that's the way I explain. That's my kind of explanation. I want to elaborate each and everything. I don't want to skip anything. I want to make sure that you people understand everything. So just at the end, you people feel like, once the table space management is completed, you people feel like, oh, okay, just only one single point is there in the table space management. Just for the what is a DBA job in the table space management is just only one job. Just for knowing one that particular job, we have to learn this much. Yes, there's a lot of concept is involved, and this is completely theory. From yesterday onwards, actually, it is theory. Theory part is going in progress. So this is also completely theory only. There is a lot of theory to complete in table space management. So it will take minimum 3 to 4 sessions. So what I request you people is, please do not skip the classes. Please join the classes. Okay, very very important sessions, I mean to say. So please do not skip. In our language, please do not bunk the sessions. Okay. So yeah, coming to today's session, I'm going to start the startup and shutdown modes actually. So let's take a database here. Let's take a database. Okay. Mm. Okay, let's take a database. So we can call this as instance. Okay, instance. Okay, and this is library cache. This is data dictionary cache. Next, this is DBBC, DBBC database buffer cache, and this is RLBC, read log buffer cache. This is read log buffer cache. Okay, and there are some background process, right? Instead of writing all background process, I will make sure that there's something called background process. All background all background process. All background process. I can keep it here. Company. Yeah, fine. So this is nothing but SGA. SGA is a combination of, everyone knows that. SGA is a combination of instance is a combination of SGA plus background processor. This is instance. SGA plus background processor. Instance is a combination of SGA. SGA is a combination of library cache, data dictionary cache, database buffer cache, read log buffer cache, and all the background. That is SGA, and remaining all are background processor. If we include all background processors plus SGA, that is called instance. Okay, that is called instance. Till here we are aware of, and then this is something. Okay, which I'll explain you. So what happens when we give startup? What happens when we give startup? Now today's class is what happens when we give startup. Startup. What happens is there are three stages. There are three stages in startup. Whenever we give startup, we'll start the database, right? So server is ready. So let's log into the server. Log into the server, and what we'll do, we'll start the database. You people only see what happens when we start the database. Oracle and password in our database connect. First, we need to set the environment. To connect, there are multiple databases. Why we are setting the environment? To connect to which database we want. Okay, if I want to connect to ICICI database, set the environment as ICICI. If you want to connect to MX database, set the database name as MX. If you want to connect to Citibank database, give Citi. like that. Okay, so that's the reason I'm setting the environment. So I want to connect to ICIC database. So let's connect to ICIC database SQL plus slash SSDB. Right now it is idle instance. Idle. Okay, idle means it is not at all started. It is not at all started. It is just an idle. Okay, now we need to start the database. How do we start the database? The command to start the database is startup. The command to start the database is startup. Okay, when we give startup and hit enter, there will be three things happening. Okay, enough, not enough shared pool memory. That's wonderful. Nice to, what do you say? Errors are very good. Errors are very good because errors will make you learn, make you grow in your career. So whenever any error comes, please don't be panic. Don't be panic. It clearly says it's a normal English language only. DBA is not a rocket and science. It's not chemistry or it's not physics. It's just a normal English language. Whenever any error comes, don't be panic first. Try to understand what is the error. I mean, in the last session, we changed all the dynamic parameters, right? Like shared pool memory and everything. So we have given some less shared pool size. Okay, less means this shared pool size I have given 110, 120 or something like that, which is not enough. It is telling that the shared pool which you have given is not enough. So I am not able to start. So please give some good amount of shared pool, not enough shared pool memory. So please change the shared pool size is what it is telling. Okay. So for that, how do we fix the error? How do we fix the error? Go to the P file, or if you feel P file is not the latest. P file is not the latest P file. If you feel P file is not the latest P file, create one P file. Even if the database is not started also, don't worry. Even if database is not started, it is idle. Don't worry, we can create P file and we can create SP file also. Create P file from SP file. Enter. Done. Now open the P file. Where will be the P file and SP file? In Oracle Home DBS. 201 app Oracle product 11.1.0 db underscore 1 DBS. BI init ICIC.org. So this 130 is not enough, I think. So what we'll do, or else we'll remove this. We'll do 140 or something like that, or 120. If still it is not working, then we will change. If still it is not working, then we will change or do something else. Okay. Create SP file from P file. Now we have edited the P file, right? Create SP file from P file and do a startup and see what happens. Still the same. Okay. Init ICICI init ICICI.ora. Let's change to the original value only 120 and see. We'll see what happens. Once you can create SP file from P file, right, and do a startup. 1 second, just be on the line. I'm getting on call. 1 second. Okay. So M is missing actually. I did not give M. It should be in MB or KB, something like that, right? So I did not give M. It's missing. Okay, fine. That's okay. So yeah, what happens? Where are we in which class? Okay, startup. What happens when we give startup? There are three things happening here. Okay, first instance is getting started. Next database is getting mounted. Next it is getting opened. So let's write that. Okay. So what's happening when we are starting the database? What's happening? First is no mount. First is no mount. Okay. Second is mount. Second is mount. The third one is open. Third one is open. So there are three things happening here. No mount. In no mount, what's happening? No mount, what's happening? No mount instance is getting started. Instance starts. Instance starts. That's in the first stage. In the first stage, instance is getting started. Right? In the first stage, what's happening is instance is getting started. But how the instance is getting started is my point. How the instance is getting started? With the help of some file. There should be some file, right? With the help of some file. Which file? See, it's very clear. It's very clear. It is not able to. It is not able to start because there is some parameter issue. M is not working. So it is unable to read the parameter. Either it could be P file or either it could be SP file. So it is unable to start. So which file it is reading? Now you people only tell me. To complete the first stage, which file is needed? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me which file is required to complete the first stage?
Parameter.
Who is the one?
Anjan.
What about other people sleeping, huh? Or you people are not able to understand my session? You people only tell me.
No, Krishna.
Should I call your names one by one, or doesn't it look professional?
No.
Then why you people are not answering? Are you people so, okay? Let me ask you this question. At least it's a basic English, okay? ABCD English. I think everyone understand my English, right? So, are you people able to follow, or are you people able to understand my sessions that I'm telling?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
We do understand.
At least answer this, yes or no. Answer this one. I'll be happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. When you people understand my session, when I ask you a question, that I told you my session should be interactive. So why don't you people answer is what I really don't understand. So why don't you people answer? Either it could be correct answer, either it could be a wrong answer. If you people answer to what I'm asking, I can correct you if you people are wrong. This is a learning path where you can learn. This is nothing but a learning curve in your life. Everyone came here for some purpose, for a career in the IT industry. So if you don't learn right now, it will be very difficult. Even after you get a job, it will be difficult for you to survive. So please use my sessions as a learning curve. Answer my questions. If you people are correct, that's okay. If any one of you are wrong, that will be very good actually, because from our mistakes only we'll be able to learn. This is a learning phase, man. Come on, you people have to answer and learn. If you people don't learn right now, that will be difficult in the future. So please do not do that mistakes, okay? If you want to if you, for example, if you have some background noise or something like that, just ping me, I can understand. But everyone should be in a place where there is no background noise, which is one of the class rule. That is one of the class rule. So everyone has to answer. Okay. So it could be correct or wrong. I really don't mind. I'm not interested in praising the people who are actually telling correct, and I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in something else. I want to make you people learn. So when I'm here to make you people learn, please answer. I'll correct you if you people are wrong. That is why I am here. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Mission.
Yes, Krishna.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. Mute everyone. Now, so which file it will read? First stage to start the instance. First stage to start this instance. What is instance? Instance is nothing but this SGA plus background processor. So first stage in no mount, instance will start. So instance will start with the help of which file? Instance will start with the help of either it could be SP file, or either it could be P file. Anything it could be. Anything. If there is SP file, that's okay. If there is a P file, that's okay. There should be some file. So there should be some file which contains the parameters. there should be some file which contains the parameters. Either it could be P file, or either it could be SP file, anything. But when to complete the first stage, it has to read all the parameters. It has to read all the parameters and set the sizes. It has to set the size. Reading the parameters, it has to set the size of shared pool. It has to set the size for database buffer cache. It has to set the size for read-log buffer cache, and it has to start the background processor. So to start all these things means to start the instance, to start the SGA and background processor, it has to read the parameter, right? It has to read the parameter. It has to know what is the value that I have to give for shared pool. What is the value that I have to give for database buffer cache? What is the value that I have to give for read-log buffer cache? If the value is not sufficient, I have to throw the error like this. If the value is not sufficient, I have to throw the error. So it's very clear. If there is no parameter file, or if there is no server parameter file, if there is no P file or SP file, first stage will not be successful, because it will read all the parameters and start the instance. It will read all the parameters and start the instance. So it's very clear, to start the instance, which file we need. We need either it is P file or SP file. Any one of the file we need. If there is no P file, if there is no SP file, instance will not start. Means first stage will not complete. Only when the first stage is completed, then only we will be able to go to the second stage. To complete the first stage, we need the P file or SP file. Okay, so it is reading the parameters from P file or SP file, and then it is starting the instance. So for example, let's prove, we'll remove the P file and SP file and see what happens. We'll shut down the database. We'll shut down immediate. We'll go to the P file or SP file location. Okay, this is DBS location, and we will move P file. We will also move SP file to some other location. It is not in DBS, some other location. We'll move to /prod. We have moved to /prod. See, now there is no P file, there is no SP file here. You can check LSF and LHRT. I have moved the P file and SP file of ICICI database from DBS location to /prod location. They are no more exist. This P file and SP file no more exist in this location. Means they are removed. They are moved. They are moved from here to some other location. But when the database is starting, when the instance is getting started, what it will read? I told you, it has to read either P file or SP file to start the instance. It has to set all the parameters. So it will read. It has to read the P file. It will try to read the P file or SP file from DBS location. But do we have a P file and SP file here? No, we have moved the P file and SP file to prod location. So now we'll try to start the database and see what happens. Start up. Okay, it's very clear. It's throwing you error. Hey, I'm not able to read the parameter file in DBS location. I'm not able to read could not open. I'm not able to open the parameter file in the DBS location because parameter file is not there in the DBS location. Oracle Home DBS. It's very simple. So it's proved. Now it's proved, because to complete the first stage, what do we need? We need a P file or SP file. It is very, very much proven now. I have proved it. I have moved the P file and SP file to some other location, not from DBS. It is not there in DBS. So I'm unable to start the database. It is throwing me error. Now let's bring the P file and SP file back. How to bring? Prod, move from prod init ICICI.ora to this location dot, and also move SP file .ora to this location. Right, I have moved from prod to here again. I bring them back. Now P file and SP file is there. Now I have bring them back. Now I'll try to start the database again. Startup no mount. First stage is startup no mount. Okay, startup no mount. See, instance started now. No mount is completed. First stage, no mount instance is started now. With the help of P file, or it could be P file, or it could be SP file. I really don't care. But it is able to read the parameters from either it could be P file or SP file. If both are present, it will read the SP file. Everyone knows that now. So first stage is completed. Now, second stage, mount. Mount. To mount the database, to complete the mount stage, what do we need? We need control file. Control file. Out of CRD files, we need control file. We need control file. Okay, then only database will be mounted. To no mount means to start the instance, or to no mount the database, we need P file or SP file. To mount the database, we need the control file. Should I prove it? So what I'll do, I'll move the control file. Where is our control file? Control files are located in all the CRD files. CRD files are located in prod ICSA Aura data. Okay. So control01.ctl. Our control file name is control01.ctl. What I'll do, I'll move this control file from here. I'll move this control file from here to some other location /prod or something like that, or /u01. /u01. I'm moving the control file. Now you see control file is not there here. See, I don't have the control file anymore. You can see data files, you can see redo log files, but you cannot see control file here. I have moved to U01 from this location. From which location? Prod ICSA Aura data. From prod ICSA Aura data, I moved the control file out of this location. I moved the control file from here to here. So now in this location, there is no control file. Let's try to mount the database. Let's try to mount the database. How to mount the database? Alter database mount is the command. Alter database mount. See, what is the error? Error identifying the control file. Error identifying the control file. We are not able to see the control file in Aura data location. It's very simple error. In this Aura data location, there is no control file exists. So I'm not able to mount the database. So it's very much proved now. It's almost 100% proved that to mount the database, we need what? To mount the database, we need which file?
Control file.
Obviously. So to mount the database, we need, in this stage, what happens? It reads control file and mount the database. This is what happens in this stage. It reads the control file and it has to read the control file. It has to read the control file and then mount the database. Okay. That is what happens, which is already proven now. I have moved the control file. Now let's bring back the control file back. How to bring back? /prod control, /u01, right? I have moved to u01, /u01 control file to this location. Yeah. Control file is back. Now let's try to mount the database. Now the control file is back, right? Let's try to mount the database. Alter database mount. Perfect. I'm able to mount the database now successfully. Next, open. To open the database, we need some more files. Now, what is a database? Who will answer me? What is the database? Database is a combination of which files?
CRD files.
CRD. What is C?
Control file.
What is R?
Redo log
Redo
file.
What is
Redo log
D?
files.
D.
Data file.
Data files. Very good. Now, to no mount the database means to start the instance, we need P file or SP file. That's okay. It will read all the parameters and it will no mount means it will start the instance. Next, to mount the database, we need the control file. To open the database, what are the remaining files out of CRD? What are the remaining files?
Data file.
Sorry.
Data file.
Redo log files.
And what are the remaining files I'm talking? Out of CRD file, C is completed now. To mount the database, we need C, control file, which is already proved. So out of CRD, C is completed. What are the remaining files?
Data files and redo files.
Redo log files and data files.
Log files.
Obviously. So that is required. Data files and redo log files. So data files and redo log files are required to open the database. To open to open the database, we need data file and redo log files. To open the database, we need data files and redo log files. So let's prove that also. Let's prove that. Now you can check the status actually. It is database is not open. How to check the status? Select status from $instance. Instance. It is mounted. It is not yet opened. So let's move some data files. Let's move some data files to some other location. What are data files? .dbf files. Okay, let's move any one file. Let's move any one file. Okay, let's move this. Any one file is okay. Move user01.dbf to u01 location. I'll move it to u01. Right. Yeah, done. Okay, now we don't have this users01.dbf. We don't have the data file here. See, so one of the data file is missing. We can assume that one of the data file is missing in the from Aura data location. Now let's try to open the database. Alter database open. See, error, we got the error. I am not able to identify user01.dbf in Aura data location. There is no user01.dbf. So it will not open until we have a proper data file. Database will not open. What happens if the database is not opening? Database is mounted. Okay, very good. Sorry, database is no mounted. Means instance is started. Okay, fine. Database is mounted means it reads the control file and okay, mounted the database. Okay, fine. What happens if the database is not opening? If any of the data file or any of the redo file is missing, database will not open. What happens if the database is not opening? Users will not able to access the data because the name itself is telling data file, a file which contains the data. So when a user is connecting to the database, the data is coming from data file only. So to access the data file, compulsory database has to open. Without opening the database, user cannot access the data of the data file. User's data is displaying on the screen, right? The data is fetching from data file only. User is getting some display on the screen about the data. So how user is getting from data file only, it is fetching the data from data file only. It is fetching the data and displaying the data on the screen. So to use this data file or to fetch the data from data file, database must and should be open. So to open the data file, to open the database, data file is very much important. That is what we proved. So if the data file is not there, database will not be open. If the database is not open, user will not be able to access the data. Simple. So we have proved this. Now what we will do, we will bring the data file back. Move /u01 users 0.dbf to this location. We'll bring it back. Yes. We'll bring the data file back. Okay. Now try to open the database. Alter database open. Done. You can check. Select status from $instance. Open. Database open. So what do we understood from this? We understood that to open the database, what it will do, how the database will be open. It reads data file and redo log files to open database. Once the database is open, which means data file is open and redo log files are open, then user will be able to access the data. These are the 3 stages of startup. What are the 3 stages of shutdown? Exactly opposite. Exactly opposite. When you give shutdown, immediate or shutdown, whatever. What are the 3 stages? Exactly opposite. Now the database is open. What is the opposite of open?
Close.
Very simple. Close. Now, when the database is closed, it's very simple. When the database is open, it will go one step up. It will close the database and go to mount stage. Okay, it will go to mount stage. When the database is open, if we do shutdown, what happens? First, it will close the database and go to the mount stage. Then from mount stage, what is the opposite of mount?
Dismount.
Exactly, dismount. Dismount. What is the last stage? Shutdown. That's it. So these are the 3 stages. Now let's shut down the database and see. Shut down immediate. See what happens. Observe carefully. Read it. Read it. What's happening. First, it is closing the database. Means, yeah, it is closing the database. Then it is dismounting the database. Then it is shutting down the database. Means what's happening here in shutdown? First, it is closing the database. Means it is closing the data files and redo log files. It is closing the it is closing the data files and redo log files, and it is going one step up. Next, now control file is accessible. Now what happens in dismount? It will close the control file. And what happens in shutdown? It will close the instance and then shut down the database. This is what happens. Everyone understood the concept startup and shutdown?
Yes,
Yes.
Trisha.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Which file is necessary? Which file is important at what time? You people understood? Which file is important at what time?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because if you people remember, at the time of database creation, you people made a lot of spelling mistake in the parameter file. When you write the parameters, you people might have made a lot of mistakes. So when you do a lot of mistakes in the first stage only, it will kick off. Hey, I'm not able to start the instance, man. Some parameters spellings are mistake. So please check the parameters. Which means it's clearly telling that I need parameters. Either it could be P file or SP file. I need to read the parameters, then only I can start the instance. First stage needs P file or SP file. Then the second stage, mount. To mount the database, I need the control file, man. I will read the control file and then only I can mount the database. Else I cannot mount the database. Then once database is mounted, to open the database, I need the data file or redo log files and the redo log files to open the database. If any one of the file is missing also, I cannot open the database. That is what it is telling in the open. Once the database is open, happily all users will be connected to their data files. They'll fetch the data and display the data on the screen. Now what happens in shutdown? First it will close, means it will close the data files and redo log files. Then it will close the control file. Then it will close the instance. And database shutdown is completed. Understood everyone today's session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Trisha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your replies. Thank you so much for joining this lecture. That is what today's session is. And as I told you, from tomorrow, the sessions will be vast. It will be elaborated in such a way that you people will be easily understood. So don't worry about that. But there will be a lot of theory part is there. I have to complete a lot of theory part in the table space management. You people have to understand what is. So from tomorrow onwards, we are starting D. Tomorrow onwards, we are starting what? D.
D.
D. Then we will start what? As per the syllabus. Then we will start R. Okay. Then we will start R. After D is completed, we'll start R. Then we'll go with C. So by that, we will complete CRD, which means control file management, redo log file management, data file management, which is a combination of nothing but database management. Database is a combination of CRD files, right? Database definition is nothing but CRD files. So we'll complete individually one by one. We have completed instance. You people know what is instance. Now we will go with D, data file management. Then we'll go with redo log file management. Then we'll go with control file management. If we collaborate all these 3, data file management, redo log file management, control file management, that is nothing but database management. Everyone understood what I'm talking? Am I making sense?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes, Trisha.
Yes, sir.
So we have split the database and we are learning individually so that we will be able to understand very easily. That's how I split the syllabus. So tomorrow we are going to start about D. Talk about D. D is having around 3 sessions. Data files. How many data files are there? System, sysocs, undo, temp, users. So we'll talk in that also. We'll talk about different table spaces individually, undo table space individually, temporary table space individually. If it's about D, then we'll go with R, then we'll go with C, by which we'll be able to complete CRD. So to complete D means data file management or the table space management. It will take minimum 3 to 4 sessions. Not so easy. I mean, to say like there is a lot of things to learn. If I can skip, I can skip, but I will not. I don't want to skip. I want to make you people learn everything. Whatever I know, I want to give you 100% subject. Okay. So whenever you feel like confusing, or you will never get confused by my sessions, but whenever you feel like that, because I'm also a human being, right? Whenever you feel like, okay, please give a pause, and then I'm a bit confused here, so can you please explain me here, and then we'll go to the next. You ask me, I'll tell you, so don't worry. But that case will not come, is what as per my experience. But I'll try to make it very simple and easy to understand language. Okay, so that this table space management gives you some lot of information about table space. What is table space? What is a data file? What is this, that, and everything. We'll look into the details about this tomorrow. From tomorrow, we'll start the table space management, which is nothing but D. Out of CRD, it is D. Everyone clear, guys?
Yes, Trisha.
Yes, Shisham.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now we have 5 minutes of time to start the Q&A. I'll start the Q&A session now. Anyone have any questions till this sessions? Not only this session, till whatever the sessions we have completed, any session, any doubt you have, feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to answer. So that's it for the session for the day today. Thank you so much for joining this lecture. And we'll start the Q&A now for 5 minutes. Shoot the questions, I'll answer. Thank you.